Waiting for the police sirens to stop. As many people have, I purchased Nintendo Switch Online. I specifically bought the family membership $80 later, and I am disappointed to say the least. Now, my complaints are nothing new from what everyone else is complaining about. I played Mario Kart 64 online with a friend, offline by myself. Music cuts out randomly. It's weird feeling. I don't know how else to explain it. You have to do it yourself to really feel it. It doesn't feel right. And that's coming from playing Mario Kart 64 on my Wii U via the Wii launcher, whatever. It like booted up as a Wii to play backwards compatible games. So technically the Wii. And I I don't know how Nintendo could give me Mario Kart 64 on the Wii back in 2008 or 9, whatever it was that I had bought in it. And then in 2021, give me Mario Kart 64 and it be awful. I don't understand. I'm not a game developer. I don't do any of that, so that's all on them. My fan was making a creaking noise, so I had to turn it off. Anyway, it's not a great experience. I have not yet played Ocarina of Time, though I have clearly, of course, read all of the complaints on the internet, on YouTube channels. I've heard them all. I'm not a huge fan of The Legend of Zelda, so going back and playing an older one like Ocarina of Time, I don't really have much interest in. The nostalgia isn't really there for me. I did, however, play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Switch. I have played some of the newer titles. I actually did play Ocarina of Time 3D on the 3DS when that launched. Played that for maybe 10, 15 hours though, so didn't really get far into the game whatsoever. I'm whelmed. I don't know what else to say it. The service itself is unchanged. I have yet to play Happy Home Paradise, which actually comes out today, I think, the 5th. So that's out now as of this video. And $80. Now, I understand that I have a family that uses it more or less, up to 8 people. If all 8 people are using the membership, maybe even pitching in to pay for the $80 that it is, sure, I could see the value proposition there, but it's not for me. And the reason this video is a little later than everyone else's, and I'm sure the topic has died down a little bit, is one, because I wanted to really experience everything. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just, these individual cases, that it was a real problem, and I experienced real problems with that. So I've been busy, so I just, have been not being able to make these videos as often as I wanted to. But with that all being said, I have been able to play try out the expansion packs. The Sega Genesis, I never owned a Sega Genesis. None of my friends did. I have played Nintendo 64 in my childhood at McDonald's. They used to have them set up, if anyone remembers that. The Nintendo 64s that I played besides that were always maybe at a friend's house, or an older relative had one from their childhood. And that's about it. So my childhood gaming memories really come from the GameCube onward, from the Nintendo side of things. The Nintendo 64 is fun and all. I appreciate Mario Kart 64. I've purchased the games that I care about. I have Super Smash Brothers. I have Mario Kart 64 via the Virtual Console on my Wii that then I transferred to my Wii U. So I have access to them. I'm able to play them on my HD television, and if I really have that craving, I can easily go fix it with that. I have had moments in my life where I say, hey, let's play every Smash Bros. That's ever released, or every Mario Kart that's ever released, except Double Dash, because I don't want to spend $100 on a copy of Double Dash. And for the life of me, I've never been able to get my hands on that game. So That's a thing. But my point is, if I want to play those games, if I want that nostalgia, I can go back and do it. Now, Super Mario 64 is another big one. I just bought the 3D All Stars triple pack thing that they released, and the game is better on there than it is on the expansion pack. It obviously, because it's been retouched, it's been touched up. It looks clearer, it's not as pixelated, the lines are sharper, everything about it feels better. Even the controls are better on they've been remapped perfectly for the Switch controls, while the Switch controls are doing this weird, awkward. The Nintendo 64 controller is not a console that is easily mapped to things because it was a weird controller. All in all, though, I don't recommend the expansion pack. If you are looking at it from the perspective of, I really want the Animal Crossing DLC, then you should just buy the DLC. $25 once versus paying $80 a year, or however much it may be for you if you have an individual membership, monthly or yearly, whatever it is, you're going to save a lot of money by just keeping the base membership and buying outright the DLC, because you don't want to rent something like that. Nintendo is not great with their... Each console is a different thing to them. It's not like PlayStation, it's not like Xbox, where as much as I've been unhappy with PlayStation lately and have been enjoying Xbox, I appreciate both for what they've done for the digital world of gaming, for what they've brought to the table. They've showed us what a good online service is. PlayStation Plus is amazing. Xbox Live Gold being phased out, I think, in my opinion, but at its height during the 360 era, it was fantastic. And it's proven concepts, and you would think Nintendo, being as old as they are in this game, they would have a better idea of what to throw at the table or what to bring you in an expansion pack, which in itself I think is a weird name. Maybe that's the issue. The fact that they called this an expansion pack for a membership, that rubs me wrong within itself, because when I think expansion pack, I think something I can pay a one-time fee for, and it expands on what I already own. The issue here is you don't own the membership to begin with, so you're then paying more to add on to that, but you don't own that either. So, and yes, the whole owning thing is a complicated discussion, because you don't own the item, you own the license to use the item, and if that license disappears from a store or something, or it can't connect to a server to validate the license, that's a whole issue. I get that. But with all that aside, the expansion pack is a stupid idea. It's a stupid name, and I don't work at Nintendo, obviously. I don't have a background in being able to figure this out from their business side of things, but as a consumer, just as you are able to very easily tell them what you want, how much you're willing to pay for it. I'm not trying to be cheap. I'm not saying $80 a year is a lot of money, because to me it's not. That's not the issue. The issue is that what I'm getting for the $80 is not justified whatsoever by the two included things. The Sega Genesis games, I don't care about. I don't care if they add more stuff. Maybe a Sonic game, woohoo. I played a Sega Genesis like 4 or 5 times in my entire life. I don't care about those games. I get there's people that are, thumbs up to you, great. I'm happy for you. But even the Nintendo 64 stuff, I don't care. I mean, it's not worthwhile, even if they add more games. And it's just, they're bad. They're running poorly. The service is very, very underwhelming for what you're getting. It's not great. My recommendation is do not buy it. Do not get it. If you want to play these Nintendo 64 games, if you're feeling nostalgic and you say, hey, I want a convenient way to play these, there are other options. While being slightly less convenient, there are other options that will give you a overall better experience. Go buy a Wii U. There's emulation out there on computers. I don't do that. I don't even have a PC. I use a MacBook for anything. Like it's a 2015 MacBook. I don't have a computer. So I don't do any of that. But at the end of the day, there's retro video game stores. There's DK Oldies online. There's stores locally around me. I'm in California, so maybe that's a pleasure that I have. Maybe other people don't, but I know that I can go find a Nintendo 64 somewhere for not a whole lot of money. Maybe the game would be expensive, but at the end of the day, then I own it. Then it's worthwhile because I know that the only thing that will ever disappear with that physical copy is if the connectors mess up or the console breaks, which at this point is going to be easy to repair for the most part. So that's a whole different tangent. I'm not trying to get into the whole emulation versus that debate. I'm just saying the expansion pack is not worth it. Nintendo, my recommendation to Nintendo, not that anyone from there is going to watch it, let alone care if they did, because Nintendo does whatever they want and will just fork over all money. They don't even offer a refund of a thing for the expansion pack. I have read some forums where people basically complained enough and were able to get their money back. At this point, it's paid. My life's, I'm turned off automatic renewal, and when that renews, I will honestly maybe even just go to the single membership, because the people on my list that do those, they don't use it that often or enough to justify it. And it's $3 a month. So I have friends that buy Game Pass for $1 at the very last minute because it's the best way for them to, $1 for this month, $1. Like, okay, cool. So $3 a month for, if you're itching to play, what's $3? If you're in video game hobby, whatever. My recommendation to Nintendo is just give us a good service. I mean, that's very broad, but ultimately it boils down to, I would pay, and I've said this once before, I don't know if it was on a video or maybe a stream, I would pay $60 a year if they offered a Game Pass, PS Now sort of thing with just their retro games. Now, of course, those games would have to play well, and they'd have to offer a large enough library. But if they wanted my money guaranteed every year, if they wanted that income, I'd give them $60 a year easily. Even if they only offered it $10, $15 a month, I would do it. I would say, here's my $10 or $15. Let me play GameCube. Let me pay Nintendo 64. Let me play Super NES, NES. Let me play these games within a subscription service. Because at that point, that's residual income on the business standpoint. And I just read something that they're shutting down offices in America here. So I don't know if that's a good sign or not. I don't know how that's working. What's up with that? I'm sure there's news out there I just saw the headline and have not looked into that since then. But that's really all I gotta say. The service is bad. Don't pay for it. If you care about the Animal Crossing DLC, get it. If you care about the games, there's better ways to play it and you'll have a better experience. And all in all, Nintendo, just do better. That's it. Okay? So, anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Actually, before I go, I have been trying to stream on Twitch here and there. I played some Vanguard last night. It did launch early last night, so I played some of that. I will try to make a post on YouTube when I go to Twitch, because I cannot stream to YouTube directly from the Xbox. That is going to make its way into a video coming up about the things I don't like about one and the other platforms. But yeah, go follow me on Twitch, the twitch.tv/utida. I'll put the link in the description below. I'm also on Twitter @utida. I'll put the links in the description, and that's really all I gotta say. So anyway, I'll see you in the next one.